Okay, let me take you back to one of the very first real estate investor meetups I went to. I was just getting started, definitely curious, a little nervous, and honestly, I walked into this room not knowing what to expect. The room was full of people who all wanted the same thing I did, to build real estate income through investing in real estate. They want to create something that didn't depend on trading their time for a paycheck. And that definitely resonated with me. I got it. I mean, I was there for the exact same reason. But as I started listening to the conversations around me, something became clear. Most people in that room were trying to solve a problem I didn't have. They were trying to figure out how to get the seed capital or how to scrape together a down payment. Some were learning how to fix and flip with little to no money down, which sounds great until you realize how much time, energy, and construction knowledge that takes. I mean, I wasn't looking for a second job. Others were exploring something called wholesaling, finding a deal, bringing in a buyer, taking a finder's fee, just grinding to find a way in. A lot of them also weren't accredited investors, and that's something I've talked about in previous podcasts, what that means. It's just a whole category, which means that there are deals available to you. And for them, they weren't available yet. I remember standing there a little shy about mentioning I was a physician because it felt like I was already a step ahead, like I was in the wrong room. And that's when it hit me. What physicians have is not just a paycheck, it's a structural head start that most aspiring investors would trade a lot to have. Now, if you want to hear more about it, stay tuned. I'm Peter Kim. Wherever you're listening to, first of all, thank you for taking the time to invest in yourself, for being part of this community. It means a lot to me. I know it means a lot to the other community members. And I thank you for taking the time. I know you're busy people. I want to let you know that today's podcast and episode is less about tactics and more about a perspective shift. Most content that I talk about in this space, including some of what I put out already, it focuses on what to build next, like what to invest in, what strategy to follow, what income stream to add. Now, this episode, it's about recognizing what you already have and why it's a bigger advantage than most physicians give it credit for. Not all starting positions are equal. Physician income has two qualities that I think are genuinely uncommon when you find them together. First, it's relatively high. I think we all admit that. I mean, attendings in most specialties are earning, I don't know, $250,000 to $500,000 or more. I mean, some even considerably more than that. But let's be honest, with the massive increase in cost of living, I think we've all seen it lately, that salary or that income, it may not seem so crazy anymore, but it is high when compared to the general population. And that's not like a flex, that's just the math. Second, it's relatively reliable. Now, I want to be honest here because the profession that we're in, it's under a lot of pressure. I mean, reimbursements, it's tightening, it's changing, consolidation is real. And the sense of security that physicians used to feel isn't what it was a generation ago. And I think that's worth mentioning. But compared to most income sources, physician earning capacity is relatively what I would call durable. And even in a shifting landscape, most physicians are still generating consistent, verifiable income year over year. So that's high and reliable. And that combination is what most of the people in that investor meetup room that I just talked about, they were working hard to build. Physicians already have it. So let's talk about what that actually gives you. Most physicians don't fully appreciate any of them. And this brings me to our first advantage. Every investment I've ever made started as clinical income first. What I mean by that is we have seed capital, and that's just the truth. The real estate deals, the syndications, the funds, all of it was funded by income that came from practicing medicine. Now, the question that most physicians skip is this: what's happening to that money between when it's earned and when it gets deployed or into investments? Now, for most physicians, it sits or it gets spent. The shift is treating each paycheck, each piece of income as investable capital, not just income that you consume, consumption income, that's how I call it. I mean, I think that one reframe, it changes everything downstream. Hey everyone, I have a question for you. What if there was a way to make your money work for you instead of the other way around? Let me ask you, are you looking for a way to create passive income and secure your financial future? Or maybe you've stayed away from real estate because you don't have time to be a landlord. then I want to introduce you to Passive Real Estate Academy. It's the revolutionary platform that we created that teaches you how to invest in real estate passively with little or no effort on your part. In just 4 weeks, our comprehensive course will teach you everything you need to know about passive real estate investing and help build that confidence in you so that you know that you're making a great investment choice. We created this course for busy people like you, and we're going to guide you from every step of the way, from understanding even the most basic information to understanding the jargon and understanding underwriting so you can make sure that you're making a great investment, that you're maximizing your returns and minimizing your mistakes. And the best part, you can do this all from the comfort of your own home with absolutely no prior experience required. So it's time to prepare yourself and learn so that you can be ready for these deals that you see, because the time is coming. So don't let the demands of your job or the current economic climate dictate your financial future. So join Passive Real Estate Academy and build that confidence to know that you're making a great investment when it comes to syndications and funds. So visit our website at passiverealestateacademy.com to learn more and take your next step to financial freedom. Now back to the show. This brings me to our second advantage. Lenders know physician income. There are physician-specific mortgage products that don't require PMI, for example, private mortgage insurance. That allows maybe higher debt-to-income ratios. Again, some of these loans, they get underwritten differently because the income profile of the physician is considered low risk. That's not a coincidence. That's who we are as people. I mean, we follow through on what we say we're going to do. And that's the market recognizing a structural advantage that we have. I mean, physician income functions as a credibility signal in capital markets that most investors spend years trying to build. So we have borrowing power. You already have it. And then to number 3, this one doesn't get talked about enough. Risk tolerance is usually framed as like a psychological thing. Like, how much volatility can you stomach? How do you handle uncertainty? But a lot of that is just math. Like, if your baseline's covered, if you feel secure, if clinical income is reliable enough that maybe an investment going sideways, if it happens, it doesn't threaten necessarily your family's stability. You can afford to be a little wrong sometimes. We don't like taking risks. Trust me, none of us do. But at the same time, we do have a higher capacity to take risks, whether you know that or not. So you can participate in deals that maybe carry more upside, maybe a little bit more uncertainty, that maybe in different parts of the market, you can develop a diversified portfolio. And you can be patient when markets shift. You can take a longer view to investing, which everyone should. The physician income, it's not just money, it's a floor. And having a floor changes what's possible above it, what you're able to do. Now, most of the people in that meetup room, they were taking risk from a fragile base. And that's a fundamentally different game. So here's where most physicians stall out, I believe. The income comes in and then your lifestyle expands to meet it. I think that's normal. I mean, just bigger house, private school, you just have more overhead, more fixed costs. And I don't think any of it's unreasonable, but all of it compounding in the wrong direction is where we have challenges. And I've been there. I mean, the lifestyle pressure is real. You compare yourself to peers, and I'm not going to pretend that that doesn't happen otherwise. But here's the shift. What if you treated maybe a defined portion or a piece of your clinical income as money that exists for one purpose, to buy assets that produce income? I mean, that's not a sacrifice. Not think of it as that sacrifice, but as a strategy. Like, every dollar you redirect from consumption into a cash flowing asset keeps working after you made that investment, after the decision's made. And if you do that consistently, at some point, the passive income that you create starts covering what the clinical income used to cover. And that's the exit ramp. Again, not quitting medicine dramatically, not getting rich quick, just needing it less over time, gradually, until it becomes optional. Then you become the physician who gets to practice on your own terms, who sees patients because you want to, not because you have to. They're almost always the ones who made this reframe that shifted things early, even if it's not perfect. So the point isn't to minimize clinical income in our minds. In fact, it's the opposite. Clinical income might be the most powerful financial tool most physicians will ever have. And most are treating it like a paycheck instead of a launch pad. Now, the people in that investor meetup room, they were working hard to get to that starting position that physicians, they already occupy. And I think that's worth sitting with. And honestly, that experience at that meetup is a big part of why we created PIMD Con, the Physician Real Estate and Entrepreneurship Conference. I mean, I wanted a room where we didn't have to start from scratch, explaining who we are, and what we have to work with, where everyone in the room already has the foundation. They understand the advantages. And then the conversations can start from there. It can flow. And if that sounds like something you want to be a part of, make sure you come to PIMD Con. It's happening September 24th through 26th this year in 2026 in Dallas. Details are in the show notes. We love to see you there. You can join hundreds of other physicians who are talking and sharing, and everybody coming from the same place. In any case, I hope you know the advantage that you have as a physician and that you can figure out a way to make the most of it. I appreciate you all. Have an awesome week, and let's talk again soon. Enjoy the show? Let me know by dropping a review in the podcast app you're listening to us in. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit subscribe. Join thousands of physicians who are also on this journey to creating their ideal lives through multiple streams of income. Learn more at our website, passiveincomemd.com. Thanks again for allowing me to be a part of your journey. See you next time.